Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to The Hunter and the Beast. So we're gonna do this siege battle here. It might look grim. There's a lot of orc, just like a huge number of orcs coming at us here. But I actually have some hope here. I think we might be able to pull this off. If we don't pull this off, it won't be the end of the world. Obviously, we have an army in place. We are going to be able to retake Hexawatl. I have no fear that this is the start of a cascade that leads to the orcs wiping us out. But it will be a pain. Because when a city is captured through military action, obviously the city is damaged somewhat by the fighting, and the way the game models that is it downgrades the main settlement structure. So if we lose this to them, it'll downgrade the settlement to 3, and then when we take it back, it'll downgrade it to level 2. And that's a big deal because it also downgrades all of the buildings to their level 2 versions, and it closes a bunch of the building slots off, and anything that was in those slots is just lost. So we will take a pretty serious economic hit if we fail to defend this. It's a short-term problem, it's annoying more than anything, but it is really annoying. So let's talk about why I think we have a chance. There's an awful lot of orcs here, but a significant portion of this army, and then like more than half of the reinforcements, are cavalry units. Cavalry units are terrible in walled siege battles, because obviously they have no ability to they can't climb the siege ladders. You can't put them in siege towers. They can't use the elevator. You can't even tell mounted units to dismount and then have the guys just like climb up the ladders. So they're completely useless until the gate breaks. And then when the gate breaks, obviously we're going to have a bunch of like halberds and spears standing right at the mouth of the gate. They're not really going to be able to charge, so we don't really have to worry too much about all of the cavalry. Only the melee units only the infantry units are dangerous. They do have a fair number of Savage Orc Biggins. It looks like the only thing they did was build a pair of siege towers. They don't even have a ram. That doesn't mean they can't destroy the gate. Like, boar charges are perfectly capable of slowly bashing the gate down. But, on the whole, I'm not too concerned here. We have our own cavalry who are... cavalry are just as bad on defense as they are on offense. No, that's not true. They're a little better on defense. There's no reason to have them over here, though. Let's just have them in the middle. They can respond to wherever. So, like, you may have noticed that I tend, especially if you've watched more than one of these series, I tend to go pretty light on cavalry in my compositions, and this is part of the reason. A huge percentage of the important, meaningful, or difficult battles that you will fight in the campaign will be battles either attacking or defending walled cities. So if you, like, cavalry are great in field battles, right? But if you have an army that is great in field battles and bad in walled settlement battles, you have an army that is bad in, like, 90% of the battles that actually matter during a campaign. Once you have like 3 or 4 armies, you can afford to have more cavalry compositions because you can just rotate the cavalry army out when it's time to hit the walls. But in the early game, you're so tight on money. Alright, so what's our strategy here? It looks like they haven't spread out very much. It looks like they mostly intend to just push their siege towers up to here and then have all of their infantry filter through. So we need to make sure that our best fighters are over on this side. We have a bunch of units of swordsmen. We do have a unit of great swords, and I would love it if the great swords... Wait, where are they? Oh, they're all the way back here. I would love it if the great swords were in a position where they can actually fight orcs. So let's get them up on the wall over here. And then we probably want to make sure that our ranged are in positions where they're actually going to be able to shoot at the enemies approaching behind the siege towers. So, like, I'm going to swap this group of swordsmen back, and we're going to pull these gunners over to here. Of course, we got to make sure that we have all the towers controlled. But I think I want a lot of ranged over on this side, and I want melee behind them backing them up. So, like, we could probably swap these guys over to here. Because obviously when the siege towers hit the walls, we're going to want to be able to drop the ranged troops back and have somebody ready to take over. Keep our captain here. It's a little dangerous. He's a good fighter, but he's also our lord, and if he dies, we'll be in trouble. And then I do want... Let's say... Actually, the way they've got this set up is pretty good. I'm going to move these guys over to the side and put them in the middle, but this is... It's going to be very difficult for anybody to break through here in a way that matters. And where's the other... The other two sets of halberds are in the middle. We don't really need a lot of units standing in the middle. That's yeah, it's weird. It just like put them right on top of each other. Do I want to replace some of the swords with them? So like, stats-wise, swordsmen have 32 attack, 32 defense, pretty bad weapon strength, but 30 armor with shields. Halberds have the same armor with no shields, way more melee defense, and of course they're anti-large, which is kind of whatever. One thing that's a big difference with them is that a significant percentage of their damage does pierce armor, which doesn't really matter here, because we're fighting savage orcs who don't wear armor. I think I'm fine with keeping the swordsman over here. We'll let the swordsman kind of absorb the first blow, and then we'll have the halberds come in afterward once the orcs are tired. Alright, I think we're about as set as we're getting. It's a shame we don't have a battle wizard or something. Alright, so the moment we have control of the towers, let's make sure the towers are targeting. You can sometimes break down a siege tower if you just hit it with enough towers for long enough. The way this is set up, it looks to me like we're not going to be able to do that, because this tower is already only in the range of one of ours. In my experience, it generally takes 2 towers of fire for a significant percentage of the approach time. We could try this one. We might be able to do enough damage here, but I'm wondering if we're better off just focusing on, like, where are savage orc biggins? Yeah, let's just fire at their infantry with our towers. We're not going to be able to stop them from getting onto the wall. Let's just break them down. This should work pretty well. And then, of course, over on the sides, I guess we should try to make sure we're shooting at infantry, not the cavalry as much as possible, because the cavalry are going to be largely irrelevant in the battle, like I was saying. Just do damage where you can. It's working a little bit. Getting some health down. These guys are dangerous, and they are more than equal to the task of defeating any of our melee units, but what we have is a numbers advantage because they brought a lot of units that aren't actually any good. Oh no, they totally do have a ram.
Ready for war.
Well, focus on the ram, guys. I mean, that's not gonna work. We're probably gonna lose the gate, which is totally fine. That doesn't matter. So you can see the purple bar is the health for the tower. You can see it's functionally immune to small arms fire. Your fort towers are really the only way you're ever going to destroy one. Alright, that's close enough that I think we now want to move here a little bit. So let's just tell them to get like over here. I don't actually want them to run that far, but I need to free up this space so that we can tell the swords to move forward. And then as soon as the swords have moved a little bit, we can do that with them. Let's do the same thing on this side. This is a little goofy and micro heavy, but it's worth it in my opinion.
Form a ring of steel.
All right, get in there.
Sigma guides us.
This way you get your good ranged troops, or you get your good melee troops in, and you can still use the ranged troops a little bit, particularly bow troops who can actually fire over your other guys. Let's have our crossbows here. Let's see. Definitely shoot at the arrow guys. The arrow guys are not going to do a ton of damage overall, but it's important to try to remove them from the battle for morale reasons. And, you know, even if they're not doing a ton of damage, any free damage the enemy is getting is really annoying. So yeah, okay, we definitely want to leave somebody up here because this tower still has firing range. Make sure we are focusing on the most relevant enemies. That's going to be a tough one. I don't know. Maybe we will not be able to win this. I don't want you to get into melee. Are they going to be able to fire? It kind of looks like they're not. Okay, can you guys do this then? Maybe we can at least have them shooting down off the wall. Okay, we're doing some fine damage here. Wait, are they There we go. There are some big uns back there for us to focus on. Here, shoot at that war boss. Be cool if we could break him down. So you can see they're able to ferry more troops up through the elevator. So that's why there are like groups of units just standing back because they're waiting for their turn to jump in. Which means that this Night Goblin war boss is about to show up, and the situation on the walls is an ongoing problem. Sorry, did they run their... Their archers are climbing the wall to fight my melee characters in melee. That's certainly an orky strategy. You can't argue with that. I feel bad. Like, we have so little micro to do right now.
Crossbows ready, General. Form a
Crossbows
ring
are
of
not
steel.
really standing where I told them to stand. They got distracted. There was stuff they could fight, and apparently the bloodlust is real.
Hand gunners. Shields up. Form a ring of steel.
Okay. Let's meet them on the wall. Our lord is under attack, which is fine. I mean, it's not avoidable, certainly. Let's make sure that we are focusing on the savage orcs with the towers. Don't need to be shooting at the cav. Alright, the gates are down. We have lots and lots of charge defense in place, but of course the initial units here are not cavalry. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have the spear formation reform a little bit. I'm going to see if we can press them between these two spearmen so that we can do some... we have a direction from which we can cycle charge the cavalry into them. We can try to push them back, and then the halberds can come up when their cavalry try to push through the breach, which is a thing that will happen. You guys should... No, we're just getting overwhelmed. There's not enough bodies on the wall, unfortunately. This should go down pretty quickly, even though those are big uns. There's just not enough of them. You guys maybe help get rid of those arrows? Because those guys are certainly doing some damage.
My Ulrich's wrath.
You don't even actually have a job right now, so maybe we could pull some of these guys down off the wall.
Spearmen. Sigma. Halberdiers.
You guys just get out of the way.
Withdraw.
Never mind. They're bringing in cavalry immediately.
Our steeds are restless.
The steeds are going to have to wait a second.
Preserve
I'm going to pull one of the cavalry groups over to here, because I think we're going to need to charge people pushing down the wall in a second.
ready for war.
Yeah, the great swords are doing their best.
Hand gunners.
I really don't want to abandon this tower, because this tower still has a lot of good shooting to do, but we might have to pull the handgunners down if we want them to survive.
To battle. Ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull a bunch of our ranged off the wall here.
Will fly.
That's your target.
Swordsman for the Emperor.
Did you guys get over there and, like, fight, maybe? Are my halberds seriously losing to arrow boys? I mean, they were also getting shot by arrows at the same time, so I guess it's not, like, super surprising, but it's still annoying. Halberds are the best of the sort of, like, tier 1 basic bad Empire infantry, which is to say they are still basic bad Empire infantry. They're just the good ones. Okay, what we're probably going to do with the gunners is we need to be able to shoot these guys as they come down off the wall, so what I would really like this group of gunners to do is maybe form up like that, in a nice wide gun formation, and just be ready. Because they're going to come down on us. Put the shooters on one side, the horses on the other, and we'll just see if we can discourage them.
Yes, sir. Quickly. My orders.
Alright, our captain feels like fighting again, which is nice of him. I think I'm going to send him around to the middle, have him come over and help out with morale in the center of the battle. Okay, you can see their cavalry are losing pretty badly, which is to be expected. We're not going to win this fight, but those swordsmen will keep those guys in place for a while. And we've lost control of a bunch of the towers. You just work on him. I mean, we're not doing well. Okay, this is your moment, friends. Does suck a little bit because we're gonna The cavalry are going to get jumped from the side as they execute this charge. These guys, they came down very quickly, much faster than I was expecting. You guys might actually want to just back up. Try to have the gunners over here ready to do the thing.
Send us out. At speed. Yes, sir. Every stinking goblin.
Quickly, quickly.
Hand gunners.
Y'all feel free to start firing. Like, most of you are not blocked. Start shooting.
We await your orders.
Okay, that's really annoying. So, gun units are so finicky. So, like, right there, about 40% of that unit did not have our guys in front of it. But it's like, sometimes individual figures will fire when they are not blocked, but sometimes you will only get fire if the entire unit has an open line of sight to the target. And I can never tell, like, when it's going to be one of those things and when it's going to be the other. I think we're going to lose, though. This is looking pretty bad. Okay, well that'll at least let the gunners escape. These horses are dead though. We're not gonna be able to withdraw. Let's see if we can at least pull. We can try to squeeze by here, but they've built up a lot of bodies already. Yeah. Let's see if we can give them a charge order. Just get through as best you can. Alright, charge in through. Part of the problem is that orcs are relatively pretty massive, and so it's hard to do the charge through type maneuver with them. Okay, let's have you fall back a little bit. The gunners are pretty much ready to fire. I think we might... let's try to withdraw here. We're going to try to do a fallback and then immediately charge back into them as soon as the lines opened up a little bit. Those swordsmen are getting a lot of kills. I'm surprised at how well they're doing up there. And it looks like we finally have mostly defeated this group of arrow guys. So now the question is, with the couple of units we have left on the wall, do we try to press over here? This is a lord, but it's the lord of the second army, so defeating him, I believe, will not have the massive loyalty debuff effect that killing the army's lord usually has. I guess we gotta try to get these guys free. We might be able to finish those guys up on the wall. The other option with these dudes was to have them try to jump down into the melee here, because like it's a lot of cavalry, right? Ooh, wow, that guy sure got... he sure got off the wall quickly. Okay, gunners, start to fire the guns now. Firing is now time. No, really? Nobody? Nobody's gonna shoot the gun? Okay. Well, we're out of time. Charge back in. Let's just knock that guy off his feet so he doesn't get anything done. Unfortunately, we do not have a situation here where our lord can duel the enemy lord because we let our lord get damaged too badly. Oh, hey, the knights did mostly make it through. Alright, crossbows. Crossbows are much better at fighting in situations where they don't necessarily have a direct line of sight. I don't know what I'm going to do with these horses. Let's pull them back over here for now. Alright, good charge, good unbalancing maneuver there. Keep those guys under control, I guess.
I speak, you act.
Okay, we're starting to finally see some gunfire.
At speed. Sir. For France.
It's not enough, though.
Yes, my lord.
I wonder how much we'll be able to shoot at their lord. Because orcs do have morale issues. If we could get some decent gunfire into the back of their lord and we could actually scare him, we might be able to get the thing done. Okay, an enemy lord was wounded. That's certainly something.
Withdraw. We serve France. Quick, man.
Yeah, we are doomed. We've done some good damage. Like, the retake will be really easy, but we were always going to be able to get the retake. I never had any concern on that one. That's enough. That's enough fallback. You guys got to get over here. Okay, good hit. Alright. I hate to do this, but you got to get in there, buddy. I know you're not feeling well. I know you got some wounds have occurred. And the good news is this is a Night Goblin war boss, not an Orc war boss. So he is a little bit worse at melee combat. He has a lot of trickery and poison and stuff, but we almost got him to break. It wouldn't have been enough to end the battle, but I would have felt a little bit better at least. Okay, yeah, that sucks, because like I said, now when we take this back, it's going to be level 2, it's no longer going to have a fully developed gold mine, it's going to have lost a bunch of the buildings that were really nice to have. Crummy. I don't know, that may have been defensible. I am certainly not an expert. I am able to consistently win campaigns on very hard, but that's not the same thing as actually being good at the game, unfortunately. One thing I do want to do, I haven't gotten around to it yet, but one thing I do want to do is watch some people who actually are, like, good. The kinds of people who are known for being good at this game on YouTube, like Party Elite, and see how they handle this start. Because it feels really difficult to me, but I may have just been missing a trick somewhere. Alright, where are we at? Also, I feel a little bad, and if I don't say anything about it, nobody will know, but I'm going to explain it to you. I feel a little bad because I almost said, Yogscast Tom and Ben, and then I was like, well, their thing isn't really being good, but now I feel bad about having pulled back on that, like, somehow me not saying their name is an insult. Listen, that's some very entertaining Warhammer content. I strongly recommend. It's just that their thing is not being great at the game, necessarily. They're doing a very different sort of show. What do they want? They want a peace treaty. Nah. We don't make deals with lizard men. It's just not how this whole thing is going. They looted and captured. There was a small chance that they would just sack it instead, leading to the settlement buildings not being downgraded, but rather just damaged, and thus, like, easily repairable. Okay, well, what do we have left here? I mean, it's a lot of cavalry, but it's a lot of severely damaged cavalry. Because this army is out here in the field, we can attack them without having to worry about any walls or anything. Because Hexawaddle is still walled, and they didn't damage the walls at all in their attack, so they will still get the full benefit of those walls. Right, let's just have at these dudes. We should be able to crush both these armies and Oh, you cowards! Okay, well, we'll do this then. This should be 100% trivial. But, then again, the auto-resolver does love to kill... wow, really? They got a full health settlement garrison. That's not how that's supposed to work. The settlement garrison, when you take over a new settlement, it's supposed to appear at very low health and then heal up over the course of several turns. Okay, well, I mean, it's not a big deal. We're going to have a hard time taking the wall a little bit, but we're going to be able to do our sit back and let the artillery pound them thing first. And maybe we can get them low enough. And then we'll take the wall with characters or something. It'll be fine. I certainly don't want to spend any time building up siege towers. We have a lot of things to do here. We don't have the turns to just sit around. And we have, like, with our reinforcement army, we have 2 rocket batteries and 4 mortars. And we'll get it done. It won't be a problem. And their cavalry will not be meaningful on defense. That's annoying though that they got a free what was it 9 units, a free 9-unit garrison at full health out of thin air. I feel like that's a thing that changes from patch to patch with no warning and seemingly no logic behind it. It's like sometimes it works like this and sometimes it works like that, and you just have to guess which one is the thing that's happening today. Alright, I think that's a good start. We're just gonna gather up over here, far away from the guns, and let our superior range handle the thing. It's a little unfortunate that our Our reinforcement army is coming in the middle of the map, because that's a terrible place for him to be, but we'll deal. Okay, so they set up entirely on this side, which is what I was hoping to provoke into happening, which means none of these towers will be firing on the reinforcements as they walk across the no man's land there. And, I mean, it's not super complicated what we want to do here. They don't have any wizards or anything. We don't have to worry about... We're not going to take any hits because we grouped up or anything. Let's just let our dudes do the thing they do. Enable guard mode, even though it only works about half the time. And we almost have firing range. I think we have better firing range than they do. I'm pretty sure. So if we just move forward a little bit, we should be able to have at them with all of our stuff. Oh yeah, and we should hit our new ability on cooldown because it's just free magic. We might want to fast forward this. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let's not fast forward anything until we get our reinforcement army moving. Honestly, we could have these guys just go for the wall on this side. I think that's totally fine. This is like very annoying to have to give them orders all piecemeal like this. At some point, the siege weapons from this army are going to show up. That's what I'm really waiting for. Alright, show me the other mortar. And the rocket battery. Oh, does this army not have a rocket battery? Okay. Let's have them set up, like, over here. That should be close enough, I think. And then we also have a steam tank. Honestly, we may just steam tank the main gate. Or they're sitting open. They've just opened the main gate and they're waiting behind it. It's not necessarily crazy for them to open the main gate. Like, they could rush some of their cavalry out and have them not actually be useless. And in a situation like this, that might actually be the right play for the defenders to just roll out and meet you in the field. Because obviously sitting behind the walls is not a real option. But the AI certainly never does it. Okay, at this point we can probably put this on fast forward a little bit. Let's just empty the mortars at them. Oh, we could be doing her bombardment thing, right? That has 3 charges. We may as well. Yeah, do it like right there. That's a pretty cool... First of all, pretty effective, and secondly, pretty cool looking spell. Can we arrow over the wall? Just like shoot it... I don't even... These guys, I guess? Alright, getting some good permanent breakage here. There's not going to be that many enemy units left by the time we need to actually engage in melee here. These guys in range? They are. Oh, it looks like they might be considering actually running out to meet us. Nope, they're acting like there's an invisible wall where the gate is. You know what? Let's have you guys roll just a little bit further forward. If they did come out to meet us, obviously I would steam tank them on the way, and it wouldn't actually work, but it's a better strategy. It's a better strategy than let's sit here and wait to die, obviously. Let's see. You guys. Oh, she's running forward a little more than I would like. Okay, that hit. That got there. She is so good. Just incredibly powerful. Okay, so we're getting to the point where they, very soon they will have nobody left to control their towers. We are starting to run out of siege ammo. But I'm perfectly fine doing this the slow way, obviously. Are my guys here? They are not actually in range to shoot the people up on the towers. Or up on the wall. Let's fix that. Let's fix that without ever becoming vulnerable to the tower. And actually the elf is almost out of ammunition. The rocket battery has not been firing at all. You know, the rocket battery has a real low angle of fire, so sometimes it has trouble with the walls. We probably have it a little bit too close to them. How's this stuff going? Well, you know, it's going. It's going all right. Okay, let's make some moves here. So I'm gonna have her and the paladin go for the walls. Where is Von Hell? Is on this side, right? We could have Von Hell go for the walls here as well. Actually, it looks like the enemy is starting to feel like maybe they should take control of the wall. They're definitely moving melee troops over here. Let's get on that. Let's dissuade them from this course of action. I'm just going to roll the steam tank right out in front of their gate, and we'll just... Let's get both of the steam tanks over here. Even closer. There we go. Just pointed right in the gate. Alright. Mortars fall back into the trees where you are safer. And they are finally realizing that they can take the walls over here, but I think it's maybe a little bit late. I haven't really been thinking. We could have been casting spells back here this whole time. A lot of offensive spells don't actually work on walls. I guess this is maybe not even worth the wins. Let's lay this down. Oops, that's the wrong rotate command. Let's lay this down so that it affects the guys on the wall, but also some of the guys off the wall as best we can. And figure out like exactly where these dudes are going to stop moving. And they're going to get halted by the paladin. We'll just do it right here. That'll mess those guys up pretty well. So there is friendly fire. We do have to be a little bit concerned about the fact that our archers are firing a huge number of arrows directly at our paladin. He's tanking it. He's got a lot of damage reduction. Alright, the steam tanks are doing their thing. Okay, for some reason they're firing all their stuff at the wall. Guys, just shoot through the open door at all of the troops inside the door. I'm afraid if I tell them, I'm afraid if I give them an attack order here, they'll try to roll forward, which I do not yet want them to do. Okay, so we've got full control of the wall, it looks like. And they've got to be pretty close to just giving up at this point. For some reason they think it's safe to run archers up here. Hey, Von Hell, maybe you could come over here and show these fellows the error of their ways. Is that my okay, my elf decided that she wants to fight down here. You should go save her. Well, save is strong. You should go assist her because she might need it. We'll drink her potion of toughness for now. Actually, she's totally winning that fight by herself. Well, the paladin can chip in so that it goes faster, I guess. But let's have these guys take the wall. It looks like we are ready to do that. So I don't really want to bring the melee troops from this army inside because I think they're a little weakened. Maybe we could set the Hellstorm rocket battery up in a place where it can actually do some damage. See if we can get the shots deep in there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll buff our dudes over here. Get some healing going. Yeah, they're being mobbed by huge orcs on boarback, backs to the wall, just absolutely slaughtering dudes. I don't even. Where is the? Oh, they're fighting back to back. You guys, if you're gonna do something cool in cinematic, maybe you should do it in a place where I can see it more easily. I'm just saying, I want to show off how cool and powerful you are. You're not making it super simple to do. Maybe it's time to just go inside. Let's see if we can shoot the war boss from here, or if they'll, Oh no, they totally can. They just haven't been. Despite the fact that that was an easy open shot, they've just chosen not to do it until that moment. Okay. Well, there we go. That's doing that job pretty quickly.
Protector of the forest.
They managed to run off all of those boar boys on their own. I like factions that have strong combat characters. It's fun to have, like, the D&D party out there doing the thing. How's this going? I guess we're getting bogged up. There's just not enough room on the wall. Can we get a little bit of focus over here? Actually, can you guys just get up on the wall? If we get up on the wall, we can accelerate this phase quite a bit. All right, have at 'em. I'm going to run the Hunts Marshal inside. We're going to see if this turns out to be a bad idea. Because I really want to use Executioner on their Lord. He's standing out in front of everything. Come on, fire it before the boars get to you. Ah. Alright. Steam tanks, not afraid of a couple of boars. Looks like their lord has decided that this is unwise. The steam tanks, you know, they instill a powerful fear in people. I have a tendency to use a very similar strategy from siege to siege, but the thing is, it works, and also it's fun for me to execute, so I have a hard time changing it up. 300 kills for the elf. Yeah, that's actually like an appreciable portion of the total battle kills. I did not expect when we signed up to play the Empire on the Vortex map here that most of our fighting would be done by elves. Elf singular. The rocket batteries are a lot better in like open field battles. Walls are a little bit confounding to them. If you set them far enough back, they can use a long enough angle that the rockets get over the wall. But obviously, when you do that, you have some danger with the towers being able to shoot at them. And while the crews are a pretty small target, the rocket batteries themselves can be broken by tower fire pretty easily. Alright, give me back my capital. So yeah, that really sucks. We've lost almost all of the building slots. I think what we're going to do here is maybe just trash this building. Because we should get the gold mine built back up immediately, right? And this building's not really giving us the ability to recruit things that I care terribly about. And even if we were going to recruit, we would do it from the other pools for the moment. So we'll rebuild the gold mine there. We'll keep the growth building, and in fact upgrade the growth building, because we need to rebuild Hexawaddle as quickly as possible. And you should maybe start taking Quartermaster? I mean, Logistician, let's finish this. This guy is a full-on offensive army. The bad news is Marcus Wolfhart no longer has any ability to move.
Equipment check.
I guess we'll just send you over to here, which means we can't kill these guys this turn, and he's going to get away. But we did break an awful lot of their military force in the area with that attack. We might be safe to chase him. We'll see. See how things work out. Okay, what did we just finish? We finished firing drills. I do love firing drills. So do we want missile damage up? It's already the case, obviously, that artillery stuff hits pretty hard. Or do we want longer lasting barrages? I think probably what we want to do is kill more units per shot in field battles. And then obviously for town battles, both of those things are useful. We don't really need the public order right now, so let's focus on growth. We have to restore Hexawaddle to its former glory as quickly as possible. On this side, we are pretty positive on public order now. So do we want to upgrade Fallen Gates or Chotek's Causeway, or do we want to just save up for level 4 of the Mirror Pool? And we're talking about kind of a lot of time there. Like, we're not even at 3 population surplus. Yeah, let's definitely do that. Chotek's Causeway doesn't really need to be upgraded, but upgrading the Fallen Gates at least gives us the 3rd level of the spice building. We could build another growth building if we want. We could build just industry. That's probably what we'll actually do, is industry. Over here in the Maku Peaks, we can keep building up. We don't need marble all that badly. We already have some marble. So maybe a better play here is a defensive structure. Try to make this a little bit less easy to take with a small crappy army, so we don't have to worry about its defense quite so much. All right, we don't have a ton of money, and our income is all screwed up. Well, we're not getting that third army anytime soon, which is a real shame. So I'm anticipating what we're going to see from the Orc army here is they're just going to run. They're going to head back down to Swamp Town, and we will pursue them to Swamp Town and probably be able to kill them there quite easily. Now, unfortunately, Swamp Town, I think, is part of the province that is mostly owned by the New World colonies, so I don't really want to take it over. I guess it has a port. We need ports and territory. I don't like to own partial provinces most of the time, unless the settlements are particularly valuable. But for our acclaim, we do need as many ports as we can get.
Thy Sigma's will come in peace.
Is it a military alliance? It is a... Oh, you know what? I will take a defensive alliance. That's fine. It'll make people a little bit less likely to declare war on either of us. Yeah, they're trying to flee. We intercepted them. Let's...
For the Empire.
We got to do it manually. You can't auto-resolve with troops that are below half health because they just die. And it's not a 100% of the time thing, but it's a large enough percentage of the time that I don't really feel comfortable doing it. This should be pretty straightforward, though. They're going to get to us. We're going to have to engage in some melee combat because so much of their force is so fast. But our huntsmen should shred those boar boys very, very quickly. That's fine. So my whole army has the good deployment. We can start in a place where we are just barely in range of them. So you guys should probably be out to the sides. Let's not have anybody right in front of the rocket batteries, because sometimes they get real weird about firing. And we'll put you guys... Oh, wow. Actually, we'll stretch you guys nice and wide all the way over this. This is a little unfortunate, but we're going to have to... I guess let's put healthy spears at the edges of the formation to avoid any kind of flanking nonsense. And then... let's see. You guys... You guys... At that time, it actually did put them down in the order that I selected them. Obviously, the steam tank's out in front. Actually, the steam tank could be even a little bit more... Yeah, the steam tank can be far enough forward to be shooting right away. That's pretty good. I don't know if I want these two far enough forward to shoot right away. I think I want to keep them inside huntsman range. So we'll put them there. You might actually get to shoot something because of the way the terrain is set up here. Gunpowder unit on a hillside is usually pretty nice. Alright, I think this is a good setup. You guys are way too far forward. I did not make the same mistake on the other side. Okay. Let's make sure we're using your buffs. Okay. Some fine shooting. Savage Orc Boar Boy Biggins. And that unit has a really long name. Alright, what is the range on Dwellers Below? It's short. It's pretty close they gotta be. I think this is okay. Yeah, with all the huntsmen being anti-large, this cavalry charge should collapse pretty much immediately. Freeze those guys. And I mean, the steam tank is in zero danger, right? We've seen already how difficult it is to actually harm a steam tank. Yeah, God, her super net is so powerful. Alright, let me hold on. Let's cast another spell here, shall we? Set those guys up. Do we want to... It's so hard to know when we're going to be able to actually hit with Executioner. I think let's just get him behind the spear line for right now. Let's actually have you run up, I think. We probably should focus on this side a little bit because we are about to get cavalried real bad here. Maybe he should run that way then? Yeah, the elf's got the middle. It's all under control. The elf and the steam tank have the middle. Make sure we're cycling buffs, casting spells, doing all that stuff we gotta do to have a hope of surviving in extended melee with orcs. Alright, if the huntsman can just break these orcs, they'll run off the map instantly, so that'll be pretty good for us. And they panic to the other ones. Okay. And there is no escape in an underway interception battle. All of these dudes are dead. So that is the best that could possibly have worked out. If they had used a normal, like, walking movement mode, they would have gotten away. But because they tried to cheat the jungle and escape through the underway, we were able to obliterate them. Which means I'm not actually sure what the Blue Vipers have left at this point. The loss of two almost full-sized armies like that has to leave them at least locally depleted. I don't know what's going on down to the south. They might have more forces down there, but we can probably make some headway against them right now. I would love to press forward. There's like a little natural bottleneck to the south of us, and if we could make that the front of this war, I'd feel way more secure. We also still don't actually know whether the settlements in the Maku Peaks region are actually empty or if they're Skaven, and we have to obviously take them over either way, but it would be nice if they were empty.
The Emperor
Okay, Gentleman Jenkins, just making it clear to us that we are not to go in the water. I get the idea. Okay, Hexoatl has awakened another Slan Mage Priest. I'm not too worried about that. We killed a bunch of guys. Marcus's army is great at fighting orcs. For some reason, the Necroc Brotherhood is a problem. I don't care about them. We're not doing that. Ooh, we picked up a banner that gives a unit fire damage. Actually pretty interesting given some of our abilities.
Comradeship is all. Traitors always get found out in the end.
Okay, I think we were just taking run speed. She does not need more buffs. She's doing just fine. So they have a small army in Swamp Town. Hold on, Alright, they're showing us a little bit less powerful than we are. So this is that natural bottleneck I'm talking about. I would love it if we could take a bunch of this stuff and the orcs would have to come over here to fight us. Do we have... We have no Skaven corruption in the area, so these must actually just be empty. Weird.
Huntsman General.
Okay, you know what, Valmir? Just go ahead and push Swamp Town by yourself. That should be no problem at all. Not even a battle that we have to fight manually. I should have made that a lightning strike. So one thing that lightning strike does is it obviously disables reinforcements. Uh-oh, what have we done? Beware the lizardman's champion of Itza, Gorok the great white lizard, sent against us. Add him to your illustrious list of bounties. Okay, that's not great for me. This was supposed to be a moment when we were able to surge forward with very little resistance. So, okay, we can't actually see his army. That's a shame. I was hoping that we would be able to tell what we were up against there. But what I was saying is, the other thing that Lightning Strike Battle does is it causes a -5 leadership penalty on all of the enemy units in the battle, even if you don't have any reinforcements showing up, like even if the Lightning Strike sort of didn't do anything, which is nice. I think what we're going to do here... My plan was to have Marcus go over and capture these two things so that we could just start building up this province while we push forward, and also so that we would have access to, like, positive public order buildings in here, because we just need more building slots. But with that big dinosaur army there, we might need him to help defend Swamptown. As much as I like this money, let's demolish this building and replace it with a garrison structure. We might be able to get a level 2 garrison structure up before those guys arrive. Maybe. Okay, absolutely gold mine. No question, make me a gold mine. I think I'm still going to go for it. Because otherwise we're going to have trouble controlling the Maku Peaks. And, like, there's a port over here, and a trade good that we don't have. There's a lot of money, and a fair amount of acclaim to be gained on this side. Someday Andreas will come home. He'll make it, eventually. Yeah, I gotta say, I am worried. Worried about this thing. I'm also worried about the fact that Hexawaddle is doing so well over here. I'd really love it if they could cut that out. Alright, so we're slowly working toward having access to both iron and timber. And then it's just get those two settlements. Unfortunately, we're actually really early in the Paladin's questline. He has a ton of stuff left. You're getting pretty close to the end of yours. Yeah, this is it. We probably still don't want to try building a third army. We could upgrade some of these ports. I mean, that's worth a claim, and it's also worth some money. Oh, hey. Was there a... There must have been a patch. Because the value of these ports changed pretty much back to what it was, I think. Well, that makes upgrading these ports way more obviously correct. And I mean, like, upgraded ports are worth a claim as well, right? So right now we're at 0. This will be our only upgraded port, so all of the ports upgraded points will be from that. So we'll check back in a couple of turns and get a sense of how valuable that is for our victory conditions. We don't have enough money to start a third army, but one thing we could do is trade out some of the units in our existing armies for those fancy things that we've unlocked, like the cool war wagon with the weapon I've never heard of before on it, or the Luminarch. Nope, still no. Please do not pull me into your Dark Elf Wars. I really, I'm glad that you are having Dark Elf Wars, but I really can't get involved. I got a lot of things going on over here. I don't know if you've heard of this horrible jungle, but there's a lot of people who need killing over here in this horrible jungle. Clan Pestilence is powerful, Hexawaddle is weak. The Vampire Coast is looking pretty strong too. I'm assuming we're going to see a contraction of Hexawaddle's lands over the next little while here, because it seems like everybody around them is more powerful than they are. Oh, there's something happening just off the side of the screen there. I can't move the camera at this moment, unfortunately, or I would check it out. Wow, they are actually still very powerful. Oh, it's some vortex magic is what's happening. That's not a problem for us. We don't have to worry about that. Really, Gorok gets in the water and sails away from us. I'm surprised by that. Some nonsense is happening in a part of the world that we are not anywhere close to. Let's have a quick look at this army. Can we see anything? No, we cannot. Gorok himself is only level 1. I'm not familiar with this character in either a lore sense or a Warhammer Total War sense. So I don't know if he's like a great fighter. He might be a really terrifying combat dude, for all we know.
Time will tell on this one.
What do you want? I guess the last level of Sapper. Let us reorient more quickly in those situations where we must.
This one is rotten.
And then we were beelining toward Arcane Conduit. The most important thing with a wizard is get Arcane Conduit as quickly as possible. Now that we have it, we can fall back and pick up some other stuff. He gets his Pegasus at level 16, at which point he will be able to reposition for spells and also not get murdered way more easily. Do we want regrowth, or do we want to just level up? Like, we use Shield of Thorns a lot. Maybe we should start leveling that up. We could cap out Earthblood. Yeah, I guess that's worth doing. That does make it quite cheap.
On the hunt. Okay. Engage targets.
Alright, hopefully we can get this thing done quickly.
Marcus.
So when you colonize a city, some number of the people from the army have to stay behind to become the, the people who live in the city. So our army does get reduced in strength. We replenish pretty quickly, but it's still going to be a problem. Not so quickly that we can just ignore that deplenishment. He's coming, man. He's gonna get there. Alright, a couple of turns until we have our gold mine back. Really, we're still... I mean, at some point we're going to have no corruption penalty, and that will solve the issue entirely by itself, but man, it sure does take a while for that corruption to wear off. Well, whatever. We're at positive 74. We're not going to get anywhere near a rebellion. Okay, people are declaring war on Hexawaddle. That's good for us. So the big tendrils of magic you see emerging from Hexawaddle's buildings mean that they're trying to get closer to their victory condition. We don't care what happens with that. They can't win the game in a way that affects us at all. But the other factions that have the same victory condition do have to fight them. So that's what you're seeing happening here with Lothern. Lothern is trying to prevent them from taking control of the big magic vortex in the middle of Ulthuan. This thing, High Elf Intervention, means that Lothern has paid a whole bunch of money to hire a mercenary army in Hexawaddle's lands to try to kill Hexawaddle, which means that they might temporarily be even more distracted than they currently are. And given that they seem to not be very powerful at the moment, it could be a really, really bad thing for them. Who knows? Maybe we're lucky enough for this to have happened in a situation where it could cause Hexawaddle to collapse entirely. He's headed for the Ziggurat. He's going to do the same thing that last army did. He gets out of the water at Skeggy and then runs toward the Ziggurat of Dawn. That's a real shame. Can we see what this army looks like yet? No, we still don't. We're not anywhere near them. That makes sense. I think we have to do a full-speed sprint back in that direction, which means that Swamp Town could be taken by orcs very easily.
Monster Hunter.
We have the option of rerouting Marcus to try to stop them, but I don't think I'm going to. I think Marcus is gonna continue on his mission of uniting this province, and then we'll figure things out. But I want all this land. I want to complete this thing. All right, province secured. We really don't have any money. It also costs money to get your province set back up. But now we can Festag, and I guess let's not even bother taxing. It's so little money.
Sailing.
The loss of Hexawaddle, like we are really feeling it. Economically speaking, it really hurt. So these guys could do an underway move. They can't attack on a turn where they use underway movement, so they won't be able to hit Swamp Town this turn, but they could set up around it and then hit it next turn, and its garrison will be finished, but that just means it has 12 units and no walls. We probably will not be able to hold it if they do that. This is a really bad time for Gorok to show up. I wonder what the trigger was, if we just, we hit the right amount of acclaim or something. So if last time was any indication, Gorok's going to end up right here. We could run this army over and try to execute an ambush. We're inexpert ambushers, but the jungle helps. It'd be really nice to have both of my armies in the same place at this moment. Maybe I screwed up by trying to take over all this land right now. We're getting pretty close to the next level of acclaim, though, and I think The next level of acclaim gives us more advanced reinforcements. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. See in a second here. There's that intervention army. It looks like they did not hire a very large one. Hey guys, what's up? A proper military alliance? Nah. Hey, here's a question. Would you be willing to... Oh, I can't even ask them to declare war on what's-his-face. On Gorok. That's a shame. Hoping we could get a distraction going. Oh, they're moving up into a position to at least counterattack the Blue Vipers. Ah, the Blue Vipers declared war on Hexawatl. That's great for us. Oh, maybe they're going to Grey Rock. I'd be much happier if they attacked Grey Rock. I think our move here is... Can we make it to the Ziggurat of Dawn without marching? Not quite. I think our move is go to the Ziggurat, wait there, see what they do. If they attack the Ziggurat, we're in like the best position we can be in to defend it. It's still not ideal. But if they go to Grey Rock Point, we just sail up behind them. Their army is pretty plain, but it's a lot of Sauruses. That's dangerous. They have some cavalry, and they have a couple of dinosaurs. An Engine of the Gods Stegodon is actually terrifying, and I've never seen a Dreadsaurian before. This is a new thing, but I bet it's bad for us. We can at least make that guess. You know what? Check out the Star Tower. Really, that search is going to be 1,600 gold. Never mind. Just sail by. Even if it does turn out to be empty, I was trying to, like, you know, scout out what the Skaven power in the area is, but even if that does turn out to be empty, we won't get back 1,600 gold from it, so... Looks like things have been going very poorly for the lizard men over here. All of a sudden, everything is ruined. So when you start doing these vortex rituals, it spawns a bunch of chaos dudes. They're just in no kind of place to defend themselves at the moment. We might see them get eliminated, which I'd be 100% fine with. This dude is going to take Swamp Town back. It's a shame. Not much we can do about it. Build ourselves a port, and... Okay, 1 point. An upgraded port is worth a single point of acclaim. I mean, I guess we're only trying to get to 100, right? That's still significant. Elite supplies. Yeah, okay, we totally do get an upgrade. We need 2 more points of acclaim before the next supplies arrive to get the really good stuff. And we'll be back at full in just a moment here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this army through the Maku Peaks so that we can spend the turn in a friendly settlement. That way get actually back to full health off of all of our ridiculous replenishment buffs, and then we can meet these guys from Hexawatl. What do we do at the Monolith of the Fallen Gods? Is it just an economic structure? Do we want to build a set of defenses here, maybe? Honestly, this particular settlement is probably not in a lot of danger from enemies. Maybe I'm gonna regret making the decision I just made there, but I suspect it's not gonna get it. Like, it's just very inconvenient for people to attack. It's in the middle of our empire. It's in this weird bay, so you can't really hit it from the sea very easily. I think it should be fine to just be a purely economic settlement. Yeah, wow, Hexawatl's strength rating is really low. I bet they don't even have a single full army at this point. So Clan Pestilence does not care for us. You can see this is our relations meter, the little face there to the left. When they run out of lizardmen to kill, they may well turn on us, so we should be ready for that. Exiles are up there fighting Dark Elves for us. Intervention Army doesn't know what to do because all of the cities that they were sent to destroy already got destroyed. But listen, if you guys want to go over there and fight some Blue Vipers for me, you should feel free to do so. Yeah, this happens. I mean, we have no chance of holding here. I'm just going to go ahead and auto-resolve that loss. It'll be easy enough to take back. I'm not too stressed about it. We would really have been able to lay a lot of pressure down on the Blue Vipers at this moment, if not for Gorok. Where are you
I
going,
am
man?
elated.
Our friend here is very excited. An electric count has sent us 1,000 gold and actually a very fine sword. Alright, we'll find a way to make use of that. I can think of some things we might do with a big obsidian sword. Let's finish grabbing Logistician, or maybe we want to go ahead and get Quartermaster, because he's got a lot of replenishment already. You never have too much. But we're going to max both of these out, though. Let's start bringing down the cost of his units. We need to get our economy back online. Do we want to just jump these guys in the ocean? Probably not. Man, where do I think they're going? They could, I suppose they could be headed to the monolith. They won't be able to reach it next turn no matter what.
Huntsman General.
I think we're going to go out and grab this real quick.
Huntsman General.
If it offers us a battle, we won't take the battle, because I need my troops to be fresh. Yeah, we'll just, we'll take this the easy way. Just get the small amount of treasure, which is still totally fine. And then I think we're going to sail back to the Ziggurat.
Equipment check.
We're way faster than these guys. We could chase them to anywhere. And if they go to hit the Mirror Pool or Sildra Tor, they probably will not be able to attack it the turn that they show up.
Full speed.
Like they'll probably start building up siege gear and stuff. So I think we're okay here.
Sir.
I really have no idea what they're doing.
Headway.
Alright, so if we assume the Star Tower is Skaven territory, which I think is a fairly safe assumption, we know Clan Pestilence is huge and powerful. How many settlements does Clan Pestilence own? 24. So yeah, they probably have control of that. Sudenburg doesn't really care for me because we are too great and powerful. These guys really do care for us because we are great and powerful. Let's see if they'll do trade. Huh. You okay there, man? Do you need like a lozenge or anything? We probably have those. Look, you could just rub these spices on your throat since it's open. You could just reach in there. I don't know why he's not into us, despite being at 14 positive reputation, but hopefully we'll be able to get there with him, because another trade contract would be lovely. Ooh, Hexoatl can be upgraded, and probably should be upgraded. I think that's the most important thing, is getting Hexoatl back to tier 3 so that we can cap out the gold mine. Because it's an extra 300 gold per turn for each level that it goes up. And then obviously also, like, 2 building slots. We can build a proper garrison structure. I should have paid more attention to the composition of his army. I've already forgotten what it was. See, so like this is how this is supposed to work. You're supposed to have no garrison the turn you take it, and then it builds up over time a little bit. Let's run one more cycle of enemy turns here. I'm very curious where Gorok's going to end up. The orcs will probably push northward immediately. That's my guess. If the New World colonies want to fall in behind them and just retake Swamp Town, I'd be okay with it. Obviously, it's better for us to own the port in terms of victory, but strategically I think there's a lot of value in Swamp Town not belonging to me. Because it gets conquered constantly. My experience with campaigns in this part of the world is that Swamp Town changes hands like 50 times over the course of a game. It's in a really easy position to attack, and it's in front of all of the valuable stuff. Nope, they're just gonna... Oh, well. They ended up with 2 armies over here. They're doing that thing where they're just swapping their armies back and forth for no reason. That army from Swamp Town fell back, actually. It's so hard to guess what the computer's thinking, because they don't behave in a way that is sensible, necessarily. I still don't want peace. What in the hell are you guys waiting for? Go over there and take that. They might be fighting a lot of Skaven, actually. And Gorok barely moved at all, for some reason. Huh. Well, he's got to be going towards Sildra Tor, right? Like, it's the only thing I can think of, but I don't know why he moved so little. It's definitely less than a full turn's movement that he took there. Curious. I almost wonder if this sneaky lizardman is up to something. Alright, this is where we're going to leave it for today, though. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm having a really good time with this campaign. It's difficult and weird in a way that I find very compelling. Come back next time, Monday, to find out what Gorok is actually up to, and also to see me definitely kill him without any problems. And we'll see you then.